Hi guys, so today I'm going to be talking to you about this. It's a at-home motorized pedicure set. Now you might be thinking, that's an interesting kind of deviation from your usual sort of reviews, but let me explain something. Right, so I had a plan to kind of build a few of the competitor robots in the original pullback scale, because I thought my most popular video by far is the one about my old Robot Wars toys, so I thought, sod it, I'll do that. And then I had that was all planned, and then these little things came along, and they're so much fun, and they're awesome, and I was like, fine, they're gonna have to be remote control. So I was like, if I'm gonna make these little toys, they're gonna have to be remote control. Long story short, I'm going to try and build a remote control Concussion with a working drum spinner. Let's see how it goes. So I bought this because, let's be honest, if you're any sort of a vague Robot Wars fan, oh Jesus, that's a little drum spinner robot. Look at it. That's all I saw, I'll be honest. So I'm going to try and make this look a little bit less feminine and a little bit more concussion-in. Right, so I've got my drum spinner, but let's be honest, remote control was kind of the main theme here, so I've got to go find something, and I picked up these in Toys R Us. These are actually Hexbug, funnily enough, much like the things, and they're tiny little remote control skateboards, like the sort of like the old fingerboard sort of, what was it, tech deck kind of size. I was looking for like a little remote control tank or something that steered like with the one side and the other steering, so that the steering looked right. And yeah, the motors look a little bit smaller than the BattleBots toys, admittedly, but hopefully they'll still do the job. So I'm going to get it out and give it a little test run. So they come with some spare wheels and stuff, but I'm intrigued to see. I'm going to give it a little test run first, and God, they're a bit all over the place, I'll be honest. So they come like this, but I'm actually going to try and get it even smaller than this by removing this from the actual fingerboard, hopefully. Right, let's have a little go. You have to do that to get it to work. Wow, look at that. Way! Okay, they're absolutely mental. Okay, I'm going to try and get it back in camera. Okay, here we go. No, still not having it. I flipped it. Okay, so yeah, these are a little bit... I think they need a bit of weight on them, because otherwise they're a bit crazy. Okay, so just to be sure that this definitely works, and because I sort of couldn't quite resist doing it quickly, I got my roadblock, which I made when I was just a little kid, and I've quickly cut out the bottom and chucked one of these things in here. Yeah, there we go, it works. I'm intrigued to see whether it can take like a bit of weight, because obviously that little, the little foot grindy thing, whatever you want to call it.
New foot grindy things.
That obviously weighs a little bit, but you know, judging by the speed of this roadblock, it shouldn't hopefully be an issue. Okay, so the current issue I have is, I don't know if you can see this in the footage, but that is a forward rotating drum, and the on-off switch is at the top. So I kind of want it like this, so it's more authentic and rotates upwards. But in which case I'm going to have to move the switch to the top. But extra challenge, but no worries. So in taking the bottom half off, we can then swing this around, hopefully put this on top, make the whole lot a lot shallower, hopefully allowing more room for our motor to kind of squidge in here like that, and then move the on-off switch to the top. So what I've done here, I've drawn a little hole in here just so this capacitor can kind of slot into it, which both sort of steadies this board on top and obviously means that the board can sit lower, so we can get the shell over top. One of the things I've got to consider here when making these is that we want these two bits here and here on the bottom to be accessible so that we can change the batteries in future, and also for this one, this little charging port near the back also needs to be clear. So yeah, there's quite a bit to think about when putting this thing together. I've got this old Bugatti EB110, which was already a part. I used to tinker around with these when I was little. So I'm going to use the wheels off this and just have them kind of rolling like dummy wheels. So hopefully it will look like these are the driving wheels, but in actuality they'll just be sort of hanging in place. So the next thing to do is look at the drum spinner. So the one provided is this brutal, like I say, grinding surface, and you know, counterintuitive though it may be, I don't want to actually smash up all my other robots. So I was looking around and I found this big weird long ladybird rubber eraser thing. But if you look at it side on, look, it's got a brilliant like profile for for like a spinner, drum spinner. So I'm going to like cut out a section of this, and then the thing that makes the other one rotate is this little square lug in the end. So I'm going to try and cut that out the rubber and slot it in, see if it spins, see what happens. Just kind of slot them in, and I'm really pleased with the way it looks. So oh, look at that! We've got a nice, perfectly safe. Oh, hasn't got much force behind it. Never mind. Looks the part though, right? Okay, so I'm not happy with the wheels. I think having them too high will look silly, and I think too low obviously won't look great either. And I don't think they're the right scale. Looking back at a picture of Concussion, the wheels are a lot bigger in comparison to the actual robot. So what I've done, gone out and I bought a Mustang, because who wouldn't want to? So just so I can take it apart and get these much bigger, more suitable wheels. Okay, so what I've now done, I've created a sort of base. I sort of drew around it quite roughly, but then tried to make it a bit more geometric as I went, and cut holes in it obviously for the wheels and motors. I've realised this bit at the back I can't actually glue down because obviously it's got the batteries underneath, so I've glued it, but only with just a couple of little points here, here and here. So this base is barely held on, to be honest, but from there I can build up the sort of structure of it and then sort of secure it all a lot more as I go. So it's coming along, getting in shape now. Coloured in obviously this bit all black and under here, because it's going to be a sort of sheeny, see-through-y bit along here. We've also added these two prongs, which were the spoiler of the poor Mustang, which obviously helped to get in underneath other robots. And now I'm going to sort of build around the body panels on the side and then eventually on top. Hopefully to sort of finish it all off. So an entire length of the side of A4 orange card is exactly the length I needed for the main outside sort of section of armour, which works out very well. Okay, I've made up some little panels to go over the corner now that the sort of surround is set. So I'm letting them glue on with these little tabs that I've put on, and then once that's dry I can sort of fold them in, trim them up where they need it, and then start with the top panel. Okay, I've done the last little bit. I thought I'd leave out the last few steps. That was more of a dramatic reveal, and here it is. This is my model of Concussion. I've put the top on, which is like a sort of layer of see-through plastic with kind of a saturated with glue layer of paper underneath that gave it this kind of like semi-transparent look, much like the real one. And then yeah, I did the logo on top. I helped because I couldn't trace the logo, so I could get it right. Put some little silver spots on it to represent the bolts, and yeah, I'm really pleased with how it looks. Modest as that is, maybe. And genuinely, this is going to be the first test drive of it. I haven't even done a tester before filming, so let's have a look at how this goes. Okay, so it moves. It's a little bit juddery, much like a Firestorm.
I'll be honest, as I was building this, I was thinking the weight is increasing massively on this. So I'm just pleased it moves at all. Right, and now we'll try it by pressing the logo on the top. The drum will spin. Whoa! Oh, it drives way better with the drum. Ironically, the drum bouncing it around seems to be working quite well. It is quite loud though. Let's just crank it up a notch. Jesus! Okay, it's a little bit scary. Right, okay, so it's not very manoeuvrable at all, but I wasn't expecting it to be honest. But Christ, that drum, yeah, that's pretty loud. I think because the drum's kind of mounted one end in rubber, like the end that drives it, I think it will should slow down every time that I hit something. But one of the interesting things about this whole project is, look, you get a free skateboard with it. How good is that? So I think no better sacrifice than to try it out on that. Oh, I don't even need to drive it though. Look at that, look, hands-free, just drives along.
So, realistically, it's not going to win any battles. It's phenomenally hard to drive. The gyro just sort of like judders it around. You can only sort of rotate in one direction, not really in the other. But it moves, that's the main thing. Like I say, as I was building it, it was getting heavier and heavier, and I sort of thought, this little tiny skateboard motor, it's not going to do that well. But you know, visually, I am absolutely chuffed with it. It's turned out so much better than I thought it would. And the drum spin works, and the fact that you've got to press the little logo on top. Stop. I love that. I'm really pleased with that. So yeah, and I had such fun building it as well. It's been 15 years probably since I've built like a little pullback from scratch. So yeah, brought back some memories, and yeah, had a really good time. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me build it, and stay tuned for more like this, hopefully. See you later, guys.